Gotcha! Matchday report is finally back. I'm very happy to be saying those words. Matchday report was not a massive success last year. It was in a few instances, but at the same time it was a very fun thing to do, and it's content for the channel, so I'm bringing it back. Why not? The format's going to be a bit different this year. Instead of me breaking down half one, half two, and then go through a bunch of other things to make the video 20 minutes long, we're going to try and keep it as short and sweet as possible while breaking down the best bits. So hopefully this new format... Get off that wire, stupid cat. Hopefully this format is more entertaining for you guys, and let's just crack on with it, shall we? So, first game of the season, Bristol City versus Preston North End at Ashton Gate. It was an alright game, I suppose. The first away day of the season, one that I was very happy to attend, of course, but at the same time, the first half had me a bit worried, and the second half also had me worried, but for different reasons. But we'll break down the stats, shall we? So, shots for Bristol, 5, 2 of them on target, 11 for us, 3 of them on target. And to my surprise, every single one of our shots, including the ones off target, were all in the second half. We had 11 shots in the second half and 3 on target, but in the first half, we had 0 shots. 0 shots in the first half. That is ridiculous. The first half were a bit weird. It's quite difficult to describe what were actually happening in the first half, to be honest. It looked like we were playing a bit more of a careful and defensive game while Bristol were trying to break through, even though they couldn't. And even in the second half, when they scored that very early, the early opener for the second half in 47 minutes, it was sort of something that just caught us off guard, really. Because as soon as the goal went in, obviously that's when we switched on defensively again. For the most part, until we're dropping too deep. But then after that, Bob was your uncle, and we were making plenty of moves, and we looked like we was hungry for a fucking goal. But plenty of instances where XYZ player could have shot and they didn't, and it potentially wasted goal opportunities. We had a spell of about 4 opportunities in about 2 minutes, and they all went to waste. Very close efforts, but they went to waste, unfortunately. So it's more progress than what we had last season at the start. It looked better than what we had at Wigan last year. But yeah, there was also a potential penalty claim for us both, so either way it could have been 2-2, it could have been 1-1, it doesn't matter. It fucked me on the accumulator, so I'm not bothered. Yeah, so these statistics, again, like I say, it was a fine enough game, but it wasn't too much to shout about. All the action came in the second half, really. Let's take a look at Ryan Lowe's reaction, shall we, because these are always interesting and it always gets him a lot of shit, so we'll see. Okay, so Ryan said, it is a point we're very happy with. I think last year we got done by a sucker punch here, a late winning goal from Bristol, but I thought the lads were fantastic from start to finish. They did everything we asked in the game plan all week building up to it. The out of possession and the in possession stuff, they were fantastic, and it would have been disappointing not coming away with a point, let alone 3 points, because I thought we had a great shout for a penalty and Brown's chance that hit the post, so it was a penalty shout that I'm thinking of. It was a handball, I believe. To show the reaction after they scored and we got a goal down was fantastic, but I must say the fans played a big part in rallying them on, which he always says, and it is true, we are basically a 12th man. It was looking like an afternoon where P&E would leave frustrated after passing a few presentable chances which fell to the likes of Potts and Mads. The side in yellow were also disappointed not to be awarded a penalty in the second half when a closer range keen strike was blocked by the hands of defenders like Viner. However, the striker was to get his goal 4 minutes from time. Ryan said, I can't comment too much on that penalty shout because it was a fantastic finish. When he gets in those positions, he's nice and calm and composed. I'd have liked him to get a bit more service, and he'll hopefully do in the coming weeks. But to score your first goal in the opening championship game of the season and a new club is pleasing for me as a manager and the player. The gaffer watched on from the stands and seen a quiet first half with very little goal mouth action. His side were urged to be more positive in the second. I said to the lads at half time to go out and be brave, play more forward passes and run forward a bit more, but they scored a few seconds in the second half, which was a bit of a killer, but the lads showed the character and desire to get back into it. They weren't sulking, they weren't mourning, we just got on with it and the ball forward and caused some carnage, and that's what we wanted to do. The only problem is about saying that we showed the desire to get back into it. It looked like we was playing for a draw after we scored our equaliser, because 6 minutes added time is plenty of time to get another one, and especially after all those chances went, they went wide or high, hit the post and whatnot in that spell of chances that we did have. It didn't exactly look like we was trying to have some fire and aggression to get back into the game at certain points. So, if anything, it looked like we was ready to settle for a 1-0 until Wilkeen thought, fuck it, I'm just going to have another goal while I'm here in the box. And, that's how you score goals. So, hopefully that may continue. But in terms of how many people attended, we brought 1,300 of us. I thought we brought more, to be honest, but... again, 1,300 is pretty good. The atmosphere were banging, better than what we get at Deepdale most days as well, considering there's only a very, very small fraction of us, so that's good. And just under 30,000 people in total. Mr. D Webb was the referee. I'm not really keen on this referee. I thought he got quite a few things wrong. So our lineup was as presented, and I'll give my personal play ratings instead of using Lancashire Lives for a change, and I don't even think they're live at the minute anyway, so I'm going to have to. So I thought Woodman was pretty good on the day. He made one very crucial save, or one or two crucial saves, put himself in the right positions at the right times, you know, pick the correct thing to do basically, which last season was something that I could have faulted him on. There were certain points in certain games where Woodman just wouldn't position himself properly, and especially over pre-season I've noticed this as well. His positioning is massively improved and it's helping his game a lot. Especially catching the ball, that's something he's definitely learned how to do. So yeah, I think Woodman was pretty good on the day. I'd give him a solid 8. Story made he had a decent game, couple of sloppy moments here and there, but for the most part, a solid 6-7 performance. Lindsay I thought was very good on the day. His tackling is phenomenally better than it was last year, but of course last year he started really good as well, and then he just went a bit shit towards the end, so hopefully he can keep this run of form going. But I thought Lindsay had a pretty good game, so I'd probably give him an 8. Hughes, again, another one. He didn't really see too much of the ball. The ball wasn't played on the left side a whole bunch, really, which is a bit of a shame because obviously Best was on that side and it would have been nice to give him a chance, but at the same time, it is what it is. But for the most part, Hughes coming back from injury to put in a performance like he did, I think he did pretty well. So yeah, I solid 7-8 performance. Potts again, 7 and 8 as usual, putting the work down the right side, putting the appropriate balls in here and there. A couple of chances fell to him, which went wide, unfortunately, which isn't like Potts in XYZ situation, but it's nice to see him at least attempting the chances. McCann, again, fantastic all game, 8-9 performance. Ledson, I don't like slagging players off, but for me, Ledson was the poorest player on the pitch of the day. There was plenty of things that he did that I really did not agree with. Don't get me wrong, he put in the correct tackles in the correct times, but at the same time, the passes he were trying to play, they just were going nowhere. They was either going too far forward to the opposition or just nowhere. So yeah, Ledson, there's a lot to be desired from Ledson in that game, so I'll probably only give him about a 5 or a 6. It was replaced by Duan Holmes at 72 minutes. I think Holmes put in a decent little shift, little man, you know, doing his things, running as fast as he can, winning that ball back, putting some decent balls in and whatnot. His aerial game's awful as expected, but it is what it is, 6 out of 10. Kean Best, for the time he saw the ball, I thought he was pretty good. Very rarely put in a wrong foot. I think he let one thing go at one point, but besides that, it was a solid 7 performance. Woodburn didn't have too much time to shine. When he came on, I was joking about him making a masterclass, but that's probably just my new joke. I think, yeah, I would have liked to see a bit more of Woodburn, to be honest with you, especially with how Ledson were playing, but it is what it is. Can't say much, 6 out of 10. Brown had a fantastic game. I see a lot of people on Facebook at half-time saying that Brown looks overweight and he's having a terrible game, and I'm thinking, just shut up. It's the first half, you know, first game back, first half, and you're already being this negative. You're fishing for things, it's bait. Brown had a very good game. He had a couple of cracks at the net himself, which was, you know, something we need Brown to start doing. You know, back in like 2017 when Brown would just square a ball and it would just go in the net. You know, just have a shot. It's something that he was doing a lot more this game, and that's what I want to see continue. But in terms of his passes and overall play, his footwork, I think Brown had a pretty good game. I give him an 8 or a 9. Mads had another good game, 7 or 8. Similar to Brown in what he was doing. Keane didn't see too much of the ball, but when he did see the ball, of course, it fell for him and it went in the net, so that's good. He scored the opening goal for us. He's, you know, already broken that deadlock, but at the same time, when he did have the ball in the early stages of the game, he looked like he had no idea where he was going or what he was doing. He looked a bit scrambly with his legs, so I'd probably only give him about a 7, maybe a 6. Bonus point for the goal, obviously, but provided he can work on his awareness and his foot game and whatnot, then it's alright. Speaking of awareness, there was one moment where Holmes was just being a bit too casual in terms of running for the ball, and we were very lucky to keep possession in that moment, which I found a lot of times during this game. We wasn't exactly very spatially aware, or we was a bit too casual, but for the most part, it was a decent game, a good start to the season, I suppose, better than last year because we at least saw a goal. But it is what it is, so yeah, nothing more to say really, apart from keep up what we did in the second half. We just want to see that more often, and if we can keep that up and then of course work on our quality in terms of finishing and finding the back of the net, I think we could be in for a better season, but only time will tell. Thanks a ton for watching again. Let me know about this new format. If you don't like it, I'll go back to the old one, but yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.